to the second part of this series. I am joined today by our last crew member. We got Callum on the phone again. Say hi, Callum.
Hey guys.
Oh yeah, he sounds a lot better than last time because I'm wearing the headphones. So, today we are going to be adding the Mid-District and East District logos of Scottish swimming teams to the list that we have already made to see who really does have the best logo of all. The last one went very, very well. I didn't expect it to be so successful, although we did. I think one thing that we do have to change is the only complaint that we really had was that Aberdeen Amateurs has one logo, but they have variations of teams with on what is said on the logo, and we picked the Learn to Swim one. That is a whole different kind of group to the swimming club, and I noticed that there's one that just says swimming club on it, and I think first things first, we're going to have to change that around because we punished it for saying Learn to Swim. So I think first things first, we'll put Aberdeen Amateurs behind Highland Swim Team, but in front of Aberdeen Dolphins. I think that's where that belongs. Would you agree, Callum?
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So, yeah, in this episode, as I said before, we're doing the Midland District and the East District. I think we'll do those two together. And if we're going to do a third bit, it's going to be the West District and kind of miscellaneous logos of Scottish swimming. And the other logos that are apparently not the official, that are the official logos instead of the wrong ones that we used. Apparently, we used the wrong one for Aberdeen Dolphins, despite the fact that I'm in that team and I can't identify which logo is the right one. Who else had a different logo? Ullispool had a different logo, and Colt Salters has a different logo. So we'll clear up all the loose ends at the end, but today we're going to be doing the Mid and East Districts. So, Callum, are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. So the first one we have here is a Broth St. Thomas, and it's pretty meh, if I'm honest. Don't you think?
It doesn't scream amazing swim team.
It doesn't. It kind of screams, well, I gotta be honest, it looks like they just kind of put a whole bunch of letters on and a couple of pictures, and hopefully it would class as a logo, if I'm honest. I think it's quite neat.
It's quite neat, but it's maybe a bit boring.
It is boring. I did, that's the word that came out my mum's mouth like half an hour before I showed all of them to my mum, see if we can get good content out of that. But she also said it was boring. It's one of the more boring ones.
I mean, if Lorraine says it, then I think that's it.
Yeah.
Especially if it matches up with what we're saying.
So I think the blue in the background kind of saves it. I think if it was any other color, it would probably look, I don't know, maybe even better. I don't know. I'll put it at the front of Utter Crap, the bottom tier.
I go for it.
All right, so that's one down. Over 50 to go.
Woohoo!
Woo. Okay. So we have the Aquanauts of Livingston, which is one of the feeder teams for West Lothian. Do you know what an aquanaut is?
No.
So I looked it up. An aquanaut is a person that stays underwater for more than 24 hours. That's when it's classed as an aquanaut, or with someone is classed as an aquanaut. So I think that's quite a cool name. I mean, technically, if you're swimming, you're not an aquanaut, but I think it's just the name aquanaut more than anything.
I would say so, yeah.
What would you think of this logo?
I would agree that the name is quite cool. It's something different.
Yeah.
It's a different take on Is that meant to be a wave or a shark? Like
I
fin?
think that's meant to be a shark fin, yeah.
Either way, it's a different take on it, which I appreciate.
Yeah, true.
And I suppose the yellow stands out from the usual blue colours that you maybe get.
Yeah, that is
So
true,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not a bad logo.
It's not a bad logo. I'm not sure if I like the colour or not. Part of me likes it and a part of me thinks it's not that nice. I'd say, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I find it a bit
Yeah.
strange that they decided to put a shark wearing their aquanauts. I won't look too much. I won't look too much into that in particular. But it looks pretty cool, and I think it would go. I think it would go in the middle tier, really. Ahead. I'm gonna put it ahead of the fish with the small penis.
What one?
Which one? Wolsey.
All right.
So 2 down. We're making good time.
Excellent progress.
Oh yeah. We're making such good progress, I think we need to slow it down, which is quite ironic because we have Armadale Barracudas. And I find it rather strange that we've had so many swim teams so far, and this is the first one, and the only team that I know that's called Barracudas. Don't you think? Because isn't Barracudas meant to be the fastest fish in the world?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
I'm pretty sure it is. I like this one. It looks very happy, but not happy as in, oh, I'm so happy to be here. It looks happy to kick some ass, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It looks happy, but it looks like it can beat you up.
No, I'd agree. It's something different, isn't it? It's not the usual shark or dolphin.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I like it when they have variations of different sea animals for swimming teams because, admittedly, even though we're proud dolphins ourselves, dolphins have been done to death.
Oh, yeah.
So, and otters has also been done to death. So, seeing a barracuda, which is a bit of a no-brainer when you think of it, is quite refreshing. So, what do you think of the logo itself?
I quite like it.
I like it too. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I wouldn't say it's the best one that we've seen, but I would say it's up there.
Out of the 3 that we've seen so far, I would say that this is the best out of the 3 we saw that so far.
I'd agree with that.
Let me see. Let me compare it to the middle tier. To see if it goes. I think it either goes at the top of okay or the bottom of great to good. So, what would you say?
I would agree. It either goes at the top of tier 3 or bottom tier 2. I think that's a good place to put it.
So, which one would you go for?
Well, I can't see the tiers, so I don't know what's there. So you're going to have to make a judgment call.
I'll go with the bottom of tier 2.
Okay.
I like that one. It does look a little bit dated, and if it polished it up, it might be even higher up. But actually, just as I said that, yeah, we'll go to top of tier 3, but we can change it around at the end if we feel different about it.
At the end of the series?
At the end of the episode, really.
Okay.
Now, we have Bathgate Amateur Swimming Club. Now, one thing that I'm going to say now is that there's kind of 2 things that I'm a bit fed up with seeing on swimming team logos. One of them is a thistle, and the other one is a saltire or a Scottish flag or whatever. And this is just a thistle, and it's not even a very nice looking thistle. Would you agree?
It doesn't exactly say, well, apart from the bit that says swimming club, it doesn't say swimming club, does it?
It's a bit of a generic thistle. It looks like it was kind of drawn with a marker pen by a fairly good drawer. But it doesn't excite me. I think the blue is the most exciting part of that logo. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one at all.
Are you going in the crap tier, or
Ooh, that one's
maybe
tough
not quite
because
crap?
I think it's nicer than Bonnecourt Thistle, and that's in the top. That's in tier 4. I'll put it ahead of Bankery as well because I think it's nicer than Bankery, but behind Freestyle.
Okay.
So yeah, we're making good time. I think that's 4 out of 53 odd or something like that. And now we have Borders Elite Swimming Team. And even though it's just letters and words, it actually looks quite good.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
Yeah, I think
I would agree with you there, yeah.
Best is quite a badass team, if I'm correct. And they always kind of looked quite good with their team. And we're going to get quite a lot of teams in this list in particular that is an acronym of something. An acronym? Yeah, I think that's the word I'm looking for. And best is the team's probably best known for that. There's quite a few that are really known for that, and they're I always thought best was black and white for some reason, but this is kind of a baby blue, and it actually looks quite good. I wouldn't. What do you think? Do you have any other comments on that?
I'd agree with your comment on it being a nice blue.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a nicer blue than the Bathgate.
Yeah, definitely. It suits this better. So, what do you think? Where would it go?
I think somewhere maybe tier 2.
I think so. Looking at tier 3, it looks a lot nicer than all of them, actually.
Yeah.
Best, even though there's not much to it, it makes those letters look good. They put a lot into what they have, and I think I'll put it behind Geary but ahead of Wythen. So that's that. It's near the bottom of tier 2, which is good going. I think that makes it the best so far in this category, this episode anyway. And now we have this Blair Gowie, which is a dolphin. Blair Gowie Dolphins.
It's a pretty angry looking dolphin, isn't
it? It does look angry. It looks angry because, well, it looks quite old looking. I don't know if that's just a picture I chose, but it looks like an angry dolphin. It looks like it's just pissed off. You should. It's the complete opposite of Furzo, where Furzo looks sad to be a part. That says you should be sad to be a member of this team. Blair Gowie is you should be pissed off to be a part of this team. Nah, it looks like that can beat you up as well, a bit like the Barracudas one, but this is more in a bad way. This is kind of like.
That's maybe a wee bit too far.
Yeah, it's a bit like, oh, okay, then you meet this guy and he's just giving you the mean look and you're thinking, oh, all right then. Yeah. The yellow and blue and the writing itself, I'm not a big fan of.
I'm not a fan of the yellow writing. It's a bit much.
Yeah, it doesn't really work on this one. Blair Gowie, I don't know. Most of the teams that we've had so far, we don't really know much about, so it's probably why we're going so quickly.
Well, I mean, we don't have any stories or
there's some stories. Yes, there's some stories that will come up.
Aye, we won't have as many in this one.
I think this is going to go in not that good. I think it's nicer than Freestyle. I'm going to put it rather hilariously behind Thurzo. I'd rather feel sad all the time than actually, you know what? Nah.
Other way around?
I think I think Thurzo just simply looks nicer. So we'll put it behind Thurzo.
Okay.
Oh. So now we have Brecon Beavers. And this is interesting because this is the second team that we had so far on this series that's called Beavers. And it's also the second one called Beavers that doesn't have a beaver in the logo. Well, I find that just weird. What is it with beavers that you don't want a beaver on your logo?
I mean, I wouldn't have thought you'd want beavers anyway, but...
Beavers are swimmers. They're good swimmers. They're not fish or anything like that, but they're good swimmers, and they're known to...
Are they fast swimmers? Or are they just good swimmers?
I'd say they're strong swimmers.
A strong swimmer.
Strong swimmers. Strong swimmers can be fast or slow. So, yeah, it's a strange.
So, what do you make of the logo?
Not very much. It's just a bit
weird.
There's
not much to it, is there?
There's this kind of arch that over the swimmer and then the water, and my mum was pissed off over the fact that the person diving is piking. That's not what you should be doing in a dive anyway. So
see, the thing with that dive.
Yes.
Like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but does that remind you of a Tom Rakes dive?
To a degree, yeah. Because
I can hear the sound.
Actually, when you think of it, if you're diving from a block and you're that close to the water to land in the pool, yeah, that would be a Tom Rakes dive. Because I never really thought of that before. I thought he was defying gravity. It was just simply not a very good dive.
Those dives were iconic.
The Tom Rakes dives were iconic. Yeah. Everybody remembers the Tom Rakes dive. If you've seen Tom Rakes do a dive, you'll remember it. And the funny thing was, that was the fastest he himself could dive. If he dived properly, he would go slower. He does like a dolphin leg kick as he belly flops. And
as he enters the water.
Yeah, and then suddenly he has instant propulsion. He would do about 3 or 4 more dolphin leg kicks, and then he tends to be like first at the point where he surfaces, and then that's that. So so yeah, it does now that you've mentioned it to me, it reminds me of a Tom Rakes dive. The logo itself, I wouldn't say it's a particularly impressive logo, but I think it's not the...
Does it get points for it being a Tom Rakes dive?
Yeah, I just got note that I'm shouting, so I'll try and... my mum just came in writing that I'm shouting, so... I was wondering Hold on. Were you shouting at me to be quiet?
Are you going to show the Tom Rakes dive?
Yeah. Look. Come here. Callum says that this logo reminds him of Tom Rakes.
Yeah, that's how he dived.
That's how he dived, yeah.
There we go.
He did pike a bit, and then he did it was a strange dive, but it worked for him.
See if the head was up. I think that would complete it.
That would,
because he always put his head up, didn't he? And then it went back down.
Yeah, it just never worked unless he did it that way. It was just a bit weird. I don't know where it should go. I think
maybe somewhere in the middle, because the Tom Rakes gives it extra points. It redeems it.
I think it's not a pretty logo. Yeah, you know what? Let's put it in the OK bit, just behind Nairn. It's not funny, but it's iconic. Well, not really iconic, but it reminds us of Tom Rakes, and that gives us points.
Aye.
Okay. So here we got the Broxburn and District logo, and I kind of like this. You like it?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I like it. I like how
you like that it's something different as well.
It's a badger, which I'm not 100. I don't think badgers can swim. I think it might be more of a mascot thing. Although there's a more ridiculous one coming up near the end. But I actually like the logo itself. I like how the black and white is solid. Like, if you have a logo where the black and white is not really solid, it looks kind of minging. But this kind of looks on the more solid side, and it looks a lot nicer.
Like it's nice and clear.
Yeah, like it's nice and clear. And that's a badger.
Need to find out if badgers can swim.
Oh, I'll look it up.
I think Mel's on it.
Can badgers swim is
Badgers usually walk, but they can run when they need to. They're also good at claiming and they can swim.
Oh, they can swim.
Many badgers die in their first swim life.
So they can swim.
Oh,
all right.
She said many badgers can swim, and some die in their first year of life. I don't know if those two are linked.
Oh, all right.
But they try to avoid swimming.
They try to avoid swimming. All right. So maybe we'll penalise them slightly for that.
Maybe
I do like how the logo works. It looks.
But the way they've done it is good.
Yeah, I like it. I think we'll compare it to some of the others, but we might penalise it.
A badger is a swimming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is our logo. They hate swimming, but we like it. Obviously.
Yeah.
uh,
Mel's expressing her disappointment towards the logo.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm.
What fucking idiot thought of that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah. What? Ah man. Well, there's one later that's gonna absolutely enrage her.
I think if you want some humour, you might need to include Mel in the next one. Just be
I
brutally
will.
honest.
I'll add her next time. I'm gonna put it behind Aberdeen Amateurs.
Okay.
I would put it higher if it made a bit more sense, but it doesn't.
Next figure's not so cute.
All right, the next one is Burnt Island Amateur Swimming Club and
Burnt Island.
I think. Oh, what's? Is she still going on about badgers?
No, she's saying something else about Burnt Island now.
Burnt Island. Oh man, I forgot where. I think they train somewhere. Like, do you remember when we go to trains from Aberdeen to Edinburgh? There's always this kind of interesting looking leisure centre that we go by. And I think that's where they train, but I completely forgot what it's called. Hold on.
Well, do you know where it is?
Yeah, it's hold on. Burnt Island Amateur Swimming Club. Well, I'll look it up because I think that's worth saying. Because I think the actual area when we're looking through it is looks quite nice. It's kind of just outside of Edinburgh.
Burnt Island's it's like, do you know how if you go from like Edinburgh towards Dunfermline across the bridge?
Yeah.
It's on the right hand side on the Dunfermline side, on the Fife side. I believe.
Yes.
Yes, Mel's just confirmed.
All right.
So it's like that side of the water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right. I do remember. They have.
It's not quite Kirkcaldy, but it's like just literally on the right hand side of the bridge.
Yeah, I think it's quite close to Kirkcaldy. Yeah, the place. As far as I haven't actually been there. Well, I've been there via.
I could tell you what's been said about it.
Yeah, what's been said?
I don't know if I can actually say that if you're uploading it, or do I have to make it like PC?
Well, we can censor it.
Oh, you can censor me.
Well, I censored.
It's a shithole.
It's a shithole. All right.
All right, you can censor Mel out.
All right, it's a shithole. Okay, cool. I remember seeing.
Actually, if you're gonna have Mel in the video, there's gonna be a lot of
swearing.
censoring.
Yeah,
that'd be quite funny though.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I mean, we didn't censor all the swearing. We censored the bit where I said. When I said his name, and I said we would name names. Well, I can censor myself there. We can say that somewhere is a shithole.
Okay.
Anyway, what do you think?
You can get away with saying
that. Where would you put this? I think the logo is fairly interesting.
It is fairly interesting. I'll give it that.
It's black background with yellow thing, but it has a saltire on it, and I'm a bit fed up with saltires, so I'll penalise it for that. But it's
so would you maybe go tier 3, 4 for a couple of redeeming features, maybe?
Couple of redeeming features.
It's got the saltire, which you're fed up.
It's got a saltire, which I'm fed up with. I think it's better than Brecon Beavers, and I'll put it ahead of Aquanauts. I'll put it behind West Hill, so it's kind of closer to the bottom of tier 3.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Now we have Car Den Den, which is a rather interesting logo. I did my research on Cardenden. It's an old mining town. They're kind of famous for being a mining town, if I'm correct.
Okay.
So the fact that they have something to do with mining is quite understandable. It's not like, oh, well, just put something random on our badge, like another team that we spoke about. Yeah. So
you can appreciate the kind of heritage in the logo.
Yeah. You can appreciate that, but it is an ugly, bloody ugly logo, isn't it? It's definitely the ugliest one we saw so far. I appreciate that it has heritage on it, and I also appreciate the fact that it's a triangle, which is the first time we saw that. But it looks like that they've made this logo and they never changed it since.
Like, yeah, it's needing an update.
It definitely needs an update, and I think
I'd agree with that.
And even though I kind of appreciate that they have Cardenden heritage on it, I think I wouldn't really appreciate that on my swimming kit if I was a swimming for that team. So it was definitely going to bottom.
That's fair.
In fact, it's quite, yeah. I'm going to put it ahead of Devon because at least it kind of means something, unlike Devon, which is just boring. So anyway, that was Cardenden. I don't know if you can see the next one. That is Carnoustie Claymores. Do you know what a claymore is?
It's either like a mine, or is it not a sword as well?
Yeah,
like I
imagine that you were gonna say a mine that you step in front of and it blows up, because that's what I used to always think it was. But I think it's also a sword that you hold with two hands, and it tends to be a fairly Scottish thing,
like a broadsword kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But if I'm correct, I think that's actually more to do with Highlands, although I'm not 100% sure if that is true, so I won't punish them on that. I did my research on the team. The team is actually fairly new. I think it opened in either 2010 or 2011.
All right.
And I think the name Carnoustie Claymores is quite cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I
like the black and red.
Yeah, it works here. Because we've seen black and red on other logos and it didn't work, but this works. And I love how that sword looks like a guy diving in from face-on point of view. Do you see it?
I see that, and I also see it as being like an aerial view of a fly swimmer.
All right, yeah, a little bit,
a wee bit.
I
can see the dive as well.
Yeah, I see it as a dive. I think that logo is quite cool.
I would put that high up.
High up, yeah. Carnoustie Claymores, that's... Oh, shit, I put the wrong one up. Carnoustie... Oh, fuck, I just opened Amazon Prime. It's all gone... There we go. So, let's see. I think it's cooler than... I'm gonna put it... Oh, fuck me, it's quite high up. I'm gonna put it behind
I would go
Inverness.
high up in tier 2.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
Or maybe even tier 1.
I don't think it's tier 1 worthy, because I think Lerwick and Western Isles is nicer. I think it's kind of on par with Inverness and Banff and Buchan, and so I'm gonna put it ahead of Banff and Buchan. What one's next? Now, Carnegie. So Carnegie is a rather well-known team, and it produced some world-class swimmers, and their team kit always looks really good. They're kind of an iconic black and white, and this logo is kind of iconic. And on top of that, Tom's son Kevin swam for Carnegie.
Did.
What's that?
Does he still?
I don't know if he still does. I haven't
he gets points for having a Tom Rakes association.
It does, yeah. Although I might take points off because I'm pretty we used to go. I went twice to this competition in Carnegie, and I think I told you the story where I did the first time I went to this competition at Carnegie with the University of Stirling. I got in trouble twice. The first time was because my coach told me to film a 100 IM, which every person in that heat was swimming. So I needed to film the people in lanes 7 and 8, and a referee spent that whole bloody heat telling me off because I didn't have a wristband on, despite the fact it was clear that my coach told him. And we got in this argument. Like, I even said something under my breath, and he just yelled at me. But the more controversial one was that I was doing 100 breaststroke, and I didn't actually enter to do breaststroke. I entered to do underwater kick and then some pretend breaststroke. And I told my coach about 20 times, that's not much of an exaggeration, what I am going to do, because I was surprised that he gave me permission to do it. And he said, yeah, Felix, I don't have a problem with that. It should be funny. I went in, I did it. Absolutely. For what I heard, the referees and the officials literally asked my team what the fuck I was doing. And I got out. Everyone looked at me as if I just said the N-word or something like that. And they were so pissed off, they switched the timing screens off so I didn't know my time when I actually did finish. Because that's all I came there to do for that race, is see how quickly I can do it when I'm swimming underwater.
Just for the best, basically.
And what made it even worse was that my coach after that said that he was shocked that I did that. And I'm like, I told you what I was going to do a few times. So, yeah, that's my main story from that. That's my main story from that. And what do you think of the actual logo?
It's not the worst logo.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wouldn't say I'm amazed by it.
I'm not amazed. It's definitely a solid tier 3.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You never really look at the logo up close. So when you see Carnegie, their team kit, and there's a few teams that are guilty of this. Their team kit is a lot nicer than their actual logo.
Mm-hmm.
So you imagine their logo is amazing, and then you have a solid look at it, and it's just okay, really. Let me have a look. I'm gonna put it behind Bridge of Dawn. Maybe ahead. I'll put it ahead of Bridge of Dawn, but behind Silver City Blues. Okay. Now we have Cooper and District. This looks like it has been drawn by a child.
Yeah, it's shit.
Yeah. I mean, if it is genuinely written and drawn by a child, I would say well done, and I would definitely move it up. But based on what I know, I would definitely put it quite far down. Also, when you first look at it, it looks like they have the Olympic rings on it, and I would definitely punish it for that, but it doesn't.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's I think Kirsty Simpson's from Cooper as well, but I don't think she actually swam for this team, so
I was about to say, are you going to
I'm gonna put it right at the bottom. What am I gonna do with it? It's gonna be in the bottom tier because
it's not that good.
It's not that good. I don't think it's right at the bottom. I think it's nicer than some of them, but I'm gonna put it behind the University of Aberdeen. Then we have Dundee City Aquatics. And, we have some friends from Dundee City Aquatics. It was a cool team. Admittedly, when you look at their team kit, it's kind of the opposite of Carnegie, where Carnegie looks so good as a whole that you imagine that their team kit, that their logo is really cool. and then you have a look at that logo and it doesn't look that good. With Dundee, it's a bit the opposite, where everything else, where the logo actually looks really nice, but kind of their team kit and their...
lets them down a bit.
Yeah, and this logo actually looks really nice. Also, I don't know, that's a guy diving in, and I think it's an aquatics team, not just a swimming team, so I think it has something to do with diving. But I always laugh when I see it, because I think it's symbolic for how they can dive headfirst into anything and survive. And if they were training at the old Olympia pool, that would be 100% correct, being how dangerous that pool bloody was. Man, I don't know if you remember me telling the stories about that pool, but man, I wouldn't. I mean, if I get knocked out at that pool, I would put my money on me dying rather than surviving.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, if you put money on me surviving and I survived, you would win fucking loads of money. Anyway, what do you think of the logo?
I think it's probably one of the better ones that we've seen.
It is, yeah.
It's something different.
It is. It's
like they're making the most out of an aquatics in the title as opposed to swim team.
Yeah, it actually looks really good, and it looks like that logo makes it look like a team that I would actually want to join. Yeah, it's tier 2.
Didn't Michael not join them for a bit?
Well, they might. I think they did. Yeah.
I think he did join them.
Yeah. So maybe more points just for Michael. Let's see. I think we'll put him behind Inverness. It's not the best that we've seen so far in this list, but
it's so it's alright.
Yeah, it's alright. It's really good. It's second so far in this list, but I put it behind Inverness, I think. Then we have this one with another Scottish flag on it.
So immediately it's bottom of the list.
It's not bottom. It's nicer than some of the others. Dundee. I don't really know much about this team. I couldn't really get that much information on this team or Dundee as a whole. So I'm a bit
lost for words.
Yeah, I'm a bit lost for words. I can't really say much about it. At least it looks a bit new and it looks a bit fresh, but it's not much to it. Again,
yeah,
and it's a solid Scottish flag.
Yeah,
a bit fed up with Scottish flags. Some people love the Scottish.
It should be more specific to your club.
Yeah,
your area.
I'm putting it in tier 4. I think it's better than tier 5, and I'm gonna put it ahead of Blair Gowie, but behind Furzo.
Okay.
Then we have Dunfermline Amateur Swimming Club, which I think is trains in, if I'm correct, trains in the same place as Carnegie. When I was making this document, for some reason it would only let me paste this with a black background, but in I think the actual logo, the white stuff is black and the black stuff is kind of a cool burgundy maroon color.
Okay.
So it looks a lot better there, but here it looks quite boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I would agree with that. Even
though it looks a bit better with the red and black, it's still a bit boring. So I would
you say tier 4?
Tier 4 again, yeah. Tier 4 again. It's quite abstract, but it looks like someone doing front crawl, but it's quite abstract. I'll put it ahead of freestyle because freestyle is quite minging, really. So I'll put it ahead of that. Then we have this one, and this one's all right. Duns. It looks like something that you would find in a child's book, written like a classic children's book. What do you think?
Hold on to zoom in. I know what you mean. Is it kind of like a
Yeah.
Is it Beatrix Potter? Is that the one I'm thinking of? It looks like something out of that, maybe.
My mum had some of the first editions, or the classic editions of Winnie the Pooh, and it reminds me of that because the classic versions of those books are not as we know them today. It kind of reminds me of that.
Okay.
So,
I would say it's quite a nice logo, though.
It's a nice logo. It doesn't scream ass kicking, but it doesn't say, meh, we're not very good. It looks pretty.
It's just a pleasant logo to look at.
It's a picture. It's more like a picture than a logo, if you know what I mean.
Like a photograph kind of thing.
Not a photograph, like a drawing. A nice drawing.
Right.
But it's not a great logo. So I'd put it in okay. I wouldn't put it higher than okay.
Okay.
I'd put it ahead of East Sutherland. And then we got East Lothian. And I think I got... their logo is that. And it looks really good on their clothes, I admit. They always look quite nice. But I think I picked quite an unflattering version of their logo. It looks quite minging.
I thought the logo was a different colour.
It's always been black and white.
Has it? I maybe think of another one.
Yeah, their clothes always looked cool. They always looked quite badass as well. Their stuff always makes them look... their stuff always makes them look like a fast team. But their logo is not very much, admittedly. And I think...
it's pretty simple.
It's very simple. Sometimes that works. And I like it. I like the logo. I just think that the version that I picked doesn't make it look that nice. It usually looks a lot more fresh than that. And it's not much to say about it. I'll put it in okay somewhere. Let's see. Let me compare it to the others in the list. Again, it's a solid black and white, but I think the picture that I actually chose for it doesn't really do it much justice. I'll put it behind Highland, but ahead of Aberdeen Amateurs.
Okay.
And then we have Edinburgh University. Now, remember when I said there's two things that I'm a bit fed up with seeing? This one has both of them.
Yeah.
All right, but
so it's not really good in your books.
Not in my books. I never really thought much of their actual logo, but at least the University of Edinburgh swim team is a genuine university swim team. So
yes,
we won't punish them for that. And I think their team kit as a whole is probably nicer than their logo and doesn't actively repulse me. So it's not going to go. It's not going to go lower than the University of Aberdeen.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't put it lower than them.
No. In fact, I would put it like, University of Edinburgh. I mean, they're one of the top performance teams in Scotland. I don't know what to say about it.
But does the logo reflect that, would you say?
Would it? That's the university logo that they put on their hat. I think the ones that they have on their hat has colour on it, which is kind of like a dark blue or purple. I think the UOE, or the EU, on the side of their hat, which I think they have the logo on one side and the EU on the other side, actually looks quite nice.
So I'll give tell you, I just remember that being on the hat.
Yeah, so let me have a think of it, because we have Jasmine and Anne in that team.
I wouldn't put it too low down.
I wouldn't put it too low down, not as low as University of Aberdeen, but
like, would we go high 4?
I'm thinking of high 4. I think it's, and we're going to put it second in 4 behind South Mainland. I think South Mainland's a nicer logo.
And that's not too bad, because we like South Mainland's logo.
We like South Mainland's logo, but we don't think it deserves to go higher than that. And the University of Edinburgh, I never...
Do you think it's the same kind of story?
Yeah, well, it does... It's kind of not generic. I don't know what the word is. It's not stunning. It's quite... like most university teams, has a rather underwhelming logo, especially in Britain. I mean, if it was in America, they tend to have overwhelmingly nice logos. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to end up, I think the West District has more university logos, so we'll compare it to them.
Yeah. We can always adjust it when we come to that.
Yeah, of course. And then we have this one, Eyemouth and District. I think this particular picture was taken off a T-shirt, and it doesn't look like
so.
It doesn't look all that great. It looks like that. I think that's a dolphin, and it looks a bit sick. This dolphin says that you should be sick to be a part of this team.
Yeah, it's not very impressive, is it?
It's not a very impressive logo. I don't know much about the team. I think the team is quite a small team, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm actually quite a fan of small teams, especially ones that punch above its weight. So I wouldn't judge the team. What I've noticed about small teams is that they either put a lot of thought into the logos, or not very much thought into their logos. And this team didn't put much thought into the logo. Yeah. They just kind of, I don't know if they just made one that looked good at the time, they didn't change it, and it kind of aged badly or not, but I don't think much of that. So it actually looks all right when it's shrunk down. But let me see.
What, like a couple pixels maybe?
Yeah. Let me see. I think it will go ahead of Barnacord Thistle. It's in tier 4. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right.
Maybe I wouldn't put it. I would maybe go mid to low tier 4.
Yeah, that's low tier 4. So.
Okay, yeah.
And then we have this. Oh man, I love this. Now, this team, all right, this team. I remember seeing this team for the first time when I first went to Kirkcaldy, and I was intrigued. Fauldhouse Penguins. They're the only team that I know that is called Penguins, and I thought that their logo was cool. I think they changed it since then because I don't remember it being this cartoony. But I think I've only seen this team another 2 times since then, and they're not a very big team. But I do my research on this team. And, man, that team looks cool. I saw the pool that they train in, and they have a wall which says, "This is the home of Fauldhouse Penguins." And it's gorgeous. It looks like
cool.
That is cool. It's a white wall with all that logo on it. It looks quite new. If it's an old wall, I applaud them for keeping it so nice. That pool would have been at the top of our pool list. And they have this logo now, which I think is not the same logo as they had when I first saw them, but it's still very cool. And not only that, I don't think they're the only club that does this, but you can buy their stuff directly from their website. Like their team kit, yeah. And I was so tempted to buy some. Man,
I'm surprised you've not, to be honest.
It's so cool. What do you think?
I appreciate that it's something different.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose penguins are good swimmers as well.
Penguins are good swimmers.
Yeah, I think it's a good logo.
Yeah, I love this logo, but I am not sure where it belongs. It definitely, I think it knocks on the door of tier 1.
You think?
It knocks on the door. I don't know if it gets in. What do you think?
I would say somewhere in tier 2.
You would say somewhere in tier 2. Well,
yeah.
I think, based on both our verdicts, we're going to put it right at the front of tier 2. It's a shame that I love that logo. I think other people don't think as strong about that logo as I do, but I I spoke to other people about this logo, and they remember that team based on how cool they looked. But you never saw them.
I've not seen them. I think that's maybe why I'm not as enthusiastic about it as you are.
I don't remember anything about their swimmers or their coaches. It just, their team looked cool. Okay, so now we have Ferry Amateur Swimming Club, or FAST, as they like to call themselves.
Are they fast?
I went onto their website, and they described themselves as a non-competitive swimming team, which kind of underwhelms me. I don't know much about them, but I went on their website and they did call themselves a non-competitive swim team. But not only that, they call themselves fast, and they don't capitalize on that. I saw on it was their Facebook page, and it said stuff like, "Are you interested in becoming a member of Ferry Amateur Swimming Team?" Oh man, they should have just said, "Do you want to be a fast swimmer?" And that would have been so cool. They don't need to be the fastest team to play on their words. But the fact that, I mean, I admit, looking at this logo, I wouldn't put it very high because
the fact that you've said it's a non-competitive swim team, that's...
Yeah, it kind of goes against it. So I think the logo's not that great, and they totally don't play on the words, which they totally should.
They should have done, yes.
It would have been a saving grace for that team. So I think it would probably go in the bottom tier, really. Let's have a look. I'll put it behind Hurricanes. Then we go to this one. I put two versions of this one up. We're gonna put the top one in the
We're gonna just pick the top one.
Yeah, okay. I put the top. I'm putting that one in the list. I'm not gonna bother putting the other one in the list because that's not the official logo. That's just a special one-off. But I think the special one-off was actually quite cool.
I quite like the 40th anniversary one.
Oh, did I put it in this list? I didn't put it. I should have put them both in it because there's another team later on that I'm putting two of their logos in. But what do you think of it? Hello, you there?
What was that?
What do you think of this logo?
I like the colours in the anniversary one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like the other one, I think it's a bit underwhelming.
It is quite underwhelming. They do something kind of arty with it. Finn's Competitive Swimming Club.
Aye. But it's not. That's not popping out for me.
No, it's not popping out. They tried something you can appreciate, but it doesn't quite make your heart beat faster.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it too high.
No, I think it's low tier 4. I'm gonna put it ahead of Dice.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
That looks familiar.
That does look familiar, yeah. I think, even though I don't know if it's a rip-off of the Tane one or not, but or vice versa, but that aside, I do like this logo.
I like what they've done with the water.
Yeah, I do like it with the water, and Forfar is quite solid. I mean, it's another very, very nice logo.
It looks like it's been redesigned, modernized, and it's come out looking better.
Yeah, it definitely. I didn't even realize Forfar had a team, but they obviously had a team for quite some time. And that is a damn fine logo.
It's a damn fine logo.
Damn fine logo. I can't say much about it. It just looks. I mean, how Tane looks like an American university logo, and this doesn't. It looks a bit more like something that you would find in Britain.
Yeah, but it's got like a a hint of it, the same kind of
A little bit of a hint.
Trying to do something similar,
yeah.
but not going all out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it looks like a university in America.
No.
When I first saw it, I didn't think that it's nice as Tane's. Tane's looks a bit more solid and a bit more like you want to join it, really. So, man, I don't. Man. Where would you put it?
I would put it maybe low 2.
Low 2. I think it would be higher than that. Because it didn't. I think it's not quite as cool and as nice as the Penguins one, and that wasn't in tier 1. I think we'll put it behind Western Isles and ahead of Carnoustie Claymores.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Same. None of them's gotten into tier 1 yet. There we have Gala Amateur Swimming Club. Gala Shields. It's alright. It has a shield. It has something to do with swimming. And that has that horse, which Gala Shields is quite famous for. And that's about all I can say about
it. Is that meant to be a person swimming or drowning?
Might be drowning.
You don't really want to portray that, do you?
No. To me, I didn't think is that someone's drowning. It doesn't look like someone swimming quickly.
No.
I like how the water almost kind of looks like a sword.
What water?
You know the hand in the water? Do you not see it?
I wouldn't say it looks like a sword, no.
No, what do you say? What do you think? It's just water. Do you not see the sword part?
No, I could just see the water. I don't see the sword part.
Alright, you don't see it as I do.
No.
I think it's a fairly nice looking one, but it's not stunning again.
I think they could, if they stuck with that idea, but maybe could have been finished better.
Yeah. I think. Hold on, let me see, because I think. Let me have a look. So I don't know. I think. Because I think the blue works really well with it. I think we'll... Oh, man. I don't know. We'll put it somewhere quite complicated. Nah, in fact, a bit maybe ahead. We're going to put it ahead of Walza, but behind the Aquanauts. We're going to put it ahead of...
Ahead of the fish penis.
The fish penis, yeah. And then we have this one, which if you actually click on it, it spins round. I don't know if it would work on your phone.
No, I can't say. No, that doesn't work.
Oh, man. Yeah, there we go. It spins around on my computer, so it will come up in the video. I think it's quite cool. I think this logo is quite cool. Maybe the colours could have been nicer.
Maybe if they had a different... Yeah. It's not a bad logo, though.
It's not a bad logo. It's definitely solid tier 3 at least. It looks like a team that actually is worthy of attracting swimmers to with this logo alone.
Aye.
And
I would certainly say at least tier 3.
At least tier 3.
Maybe low tier 2.
Maybe low tier 2. I think it's cool. I don't know what that A is symbolic for. I thought it was symbolic for a landmark in Glenrothes, but I might be wrong there. So, yeah, I think it would be... Let's have a look. We'll compare it to some of the others. I think it looks nicer than Bridge of Dawn, nicer than... I think we'll put it ahead of... Alright, it's in tier 2 ahead of Wython. Is it better than... Yeah, nicer than best. Nicer than Geary. Man, this is complicated. We'll put it behind Geary. Yeah, that's tier 2.
Okay.
Okay, and now we have this one. What do you think of this one?
Shite.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you see that person's head popping out, right? Or do you see something else?
What, inside the G?
Yeah,
Is it a sick man without any arms?
that's what I thought at first, but it's definitely a pair of goggles.
Is it?
Yeah. Why would it be a stick man with a head? I mean,
Well, I mean, they
but
could have had the goggles, like, whole,
they
instead
could
of
have.
disappearing into the G, so you could actually make it out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. This was probably
No.
the most boring one to date.
Yeah,
Not the
it's pretty
ugliest.
poor.
Not the ugliest, but
Just boring as hell.
boring as hell, yeah. Let's see. I'll put it behind the University of Aberdeen.
Oh,
That is boring.
that's bad.
I think they tried to do something fancy with the letters, but
Didn't work.
it didn't do anything. Then we have this one, Haddington Amateur Swimming Club, and this confuses me because they have a Scottish flag and a French flag. And I did a lot of research to understand what the French flag is symbolic for, and I still don't know.
Oh.
I looked on the Wikipedia page, and there is only one mention of the word France throughout the entire Wikipedia page of that town in particular. And it was something to do with one of the Scottish royals having to be taken to France or something. So I genuinely don't know. Maybe it's twinned, but as far as I'm concerned, that French flag doesn't mean anything to me.
So it's completely pointless.
Yeah. If anyone wants to tell me why there's a French flag on this logo, you can tell me. So when we get to the end of episode 3 of this, we can fix it.
Otherwise, we're going to mark it down.
Yeah, otherwise we're going to mark it down. It's that arching Haddington doesn't really do anything for me. All those stars doesn't add anything. Again, I'm fed up with seeing the Scottish
stars
flag.
was around something else, it would maybe look kind of cool.
Yeah, but
not there.
And there's someone swimming front crawl, which is probably the best part of this logo. It actually looks like quite nice, but
it's a nicer version of previous ones we've saw.
Yeah, it's a really nice one with someone swimming front crawl, and then everything else kind of overshadows that and makes it a bit worse.
Yeah.
If they just had Haddington underneath that or Haddington above that, it would score quite a lot higher. So I wouldn't rank it very high at all.
No.
I'd put it in tier 4 maybe. Tier 4.
Mid-tier 4?
Yeah, maybe mid-tier 4. I'm putting it ahead of Dundin or whatever it's called. Then we have, I think this one's Haley's Swim Club. This is another fairly boring looking one. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
It went completely silent for a second.
My first thought was, it's like, if you ever swam either a race or something in training or whatever, and you forget what length you're on, and you have to look up to see if the timekeepers are either there or you're checking the scoreboard. It looks like that. The head's just sticking up to see if you can see what's going on. That's what it reminds me of.
Definitely, man. That brings back. There's so many people that has done something like that. In fact,
so many.
Poor Michael. We're picking on him again. He was doing
he's not here to defend himself.
He's not here to defend himself. We're picking on him again. He did a 200 butterfly, and he did 2 lengths too many because the lifeguards didn't think to stand up and take his time.
Yeah.
He was at the 8th length, and he thought, well, it must have another 2 lengths to go because they're not standing up.
Yeah, there's no one there. I'll just keep going then.
Admittedly, if he stopped then, they probably still wouldn't have taken his time. I've seen a few people do it. I've done it myself, I think. I remember Caitlin Tootle doing it, and the whole team ripped into her. They absolutely were disgusted that she did that. Mind you, almost everything that she did at the time disgusted us. So, so
Jesus.
I admit that 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 was a bit nasty. I remember. It also reminds me, I was doing a 1500 once, and you're not meant to raise your head up. You're meant to take a breath, but a more angled breath, and look behind you to see what the number of what length you're on. Right? That's
Yeah.
what they're for. And Callum McGregor was the person that was doing my lengths, and he always changed them as I turned. So by the time I was actually breathing and looking, it said that I had 2 less lengths than I actually had. And I actually went up to him afterwards, and I'm like, "What the fuck, man? You messed it up for me, man." Man,
Was your
like,
time crap?
I don't remember, but that's
Oh.
the only memory I have of that race. I don't think
Yeah,
it's the worst.
otherwise,
The
it's not that good, though.
It's not that good. I don't know. Actually, it's quite bland, admittedly, but it's not ugly. I think I'd put it. I don't think it actually deserves to go that high up.
No, I would put it somewhere tier 4.
Yeah, tier 4, man. It might not have much to it, but I don't think it's actively ugly or boring. It actually has a small amount of character to it. I'll put it behind Eyemouth, but ahead of Barnacord Thistle. We're on page 12 of 20, and I'm pretty sure we actually have some quite a way to go. There's a team that I could not find the logo of called Howick and TV or Tail. I don't know how that's pronounced. They look like they have a really nice logo, but I cannot find a picture of it. I saw
That doesn't really help us here, does it?
That doesn't. So if someone could help me find this logo so we can put it on at the end of episode 3, that would be good. But for the meantime, we'll just move on to Heart of Midlothian, which is a rather iconic logo.
I mean, yeah, just about everyone probably knows it in the swimming community.
Yeah. Again, I think it's actually quite iconic. I like the fact that it's the same colour as the football team, Heart of Midlothian. Again, this team's actually produced some damn fine swimmers. I think the picture that I've actually chose for this is not that flattering either. It looks a bit old in that one, but I would say that I like this logo.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I like it too.
I think the team. I don't think it actually suits the team kit that they use, though. I see the logo on team kits, and it doesn't seem that attractive to me. But looking at it now, I think, yeah, that's a good logo. So I'll have a look to see where it's at, and I think it's fairly high up tier 3 at least.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Heart of Midlothian. Do you like it more than West Side Sharks?
What was that, sorry?
Do you like it more than West Side Sharks?
Is that another one with a penis?
That's the other one with a penis, but it's genuinely nice. West Side Sharks.
I'd maybe go just behind West Side Sharks.
Alright. We'll put it in tier 2, the bottom of tier 2 behind West Side Sharks. Alright. Phil Potter paid for my dinner once, and I'm pretty sure I completely forgot to thank him for it. So if you're watching, Phil, thank you for buying that dinner that one time. Alright, so now we have Incas, which I don't really know all that much about. I think that's the 4th row bridge right there. Oh, shit. Yeah, we got Incas next, although my document just kind of glitched on me. Alright, there we go. That should do. Alright, we have Incas next. There's not much to it, and I'm not sure what the significance is of that bridge. Do you know much about that?
I mean, I don't know where that... Is the team relatively near?
I assume so.
Uh, otherwise, what else can you? I like the colours.
I do like the colours, yeah. Alright.
Uh, apart from that,
I'm trying to. I remember being told that they had a competition that was quite good. Although I decided to rip into it for absolutely no reason once.
That's not like you.
Ripping into things for no reason. So,
I mean, you can't exactly say much about it apart from it's got nice colours.
yeah.
So,
I know it does have nice colours, but
but apart from that,
they have the Forth Row Bridge. But looking at the map of Scottish swimming, there's loads of teams near that bridge. So, I wouldn't think of that too much.
would we go high 4, low 3?
High 4, I reckon. Doesn't really. I'm gonna
There's
put
nothing
it.
swim team about it.
Yeah. Admittedly, I think it must be near the Forth Row Bridge, surely. Otherwise, they're just putting the Forth Row Bridge because it's Scottish.
Unless they're really desperate to put something on it.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
famous for nothing.
Yeah, man, yeah. So we're gonna move on to this one, which I actually quite like. Inverleith Amateur Swimming Club. And I did some research. I think Inverleith is just a park in Edinburgh with geese. Hold on.
Okay.
But yeah, Inverleith Park. Yeah, that's in Edinburgh. Yeah. And yeah, there was pictures of geese all over that picture that I saw. So it has some significance, this logo, and I actually quite like it.
I think the way they've done it is quite good.
Yeah. I think that's what the Inverness logo used to look like, but with Nessie.
Well, see, at a quick glance, that's what I thought it was, but it was only when I actually looked at it properly.
Yeah, it's a swan. It
Yeah,
looks quite nice. And I like
I think
how
it's.
I like how it has at least some significance. They didn't just stick something on it just to be. And geese swim as well. I like this one. I think it's top of tier 3, lower tier 2 worthy.
Mm, I would say so.
I think it's nicer than the Barracuda one. I think it's nicer than Hearts, actually. Probably nicer than. I'm putting it ahead of
I'd
Wife.
go tier 2 with that one.
Yeah, I put it ahead of Wife then, behind Best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have Kelso, another team that I arguably sometimes it's around that area of Best and kind of lower Midlothian, if I'm correct, around those areas. And this is
Kelso.
and this is their logo, and it's quite
I think
boring.
it's a wee bit south. Is it south of Edinburgh?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's nearby Borders, if I'm correct.
I think that's actually where. That's where. No, was that where Rusky was born?
Where?
Kelso.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I think it gets points for that.
Points for that. Well, it gets points for that, which is good because the actual logo itself isn't that great. I think it's quite boring, really. But it can get some points for giving birth to Rusky. I'm gonna put a. I think. Let me see.
I don't know. Would we go?
I'm looking at tier 4 right now, and I think I'll put it ahead of the logo that I've used for Ollie's Pool so far, and behind Wick, because maybe a bit more. I'll put it ahead of Ink. Yeah, screw it. I'm putting it ahead of Incus, but behind Edinburgh Uni.
Okay.
Then we have this one, Kirkcaldy Amateur Swimming Club, and that's really quite nice. Do you think so? It looks quite old, and it looks like it needs kind of polishing and updating, but it does look nice.
But apart from that, I would say it looks
Yeah,
alright.
it looks alright. I was showing this to my mum. My mum really liked this one. And
Okay.
I like it too. It looks quite kind of it's pretty. It's a pretty logo, and it does actually look like a logo rather than just someone's drawing. Um, although it does kind of teeter towards drawing. I like this one. Kakari, I mean, I like this one a lot better than I like the pool, that's for sure.
Yeah, the pool's crap.
The pool's crap. When did you go to that pool?
I'm pretty sure. I might be thinking of a different pool. What's the one that's really shallow? That's not Kirkcaldy, is it?
I can't remember.
It's the one everyone does crap.
Oh no,
Uh,
you're thinking of you're
Is
thinking
that not
of
East
East
Kilbride?
Kilbride. You're thinking of East
Yeah,
Kilbride.
that's it. It began with a K.
I think this logo deserves to go fairly high up, although it could be better if they updated it, like keeping it the same, but made it look a bit more solid and a bit more up to date.
Yeah.
They don't need to change very much with it.
No. I'd certainly go somewhere in tier 2.
Definitely. It won't go that high up. Actually, I'm going to put it ahead of Glenrothes, Pine Geary.
Yeah.
And then we have Livingston District Dolphins Amateur Swimming Club. Another one of West Lothian's feeder teams. And the thing that this makes me think, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did this. They made this logo entirely out of word art.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then they just stick a dolphin on it. That's all I can really say.
And you're not really saying that as if you're impressed.
Ah, man, I mean, it's not particularly well done, is it? I mean,
No.
word art is very easy to. It's
Word
very
art with a wee bit of like a shadow behind it.
yeah. It looks like they didn't try that hard to make it.
I would go somewhere low tier 4 with that one.
Yeah,
There's
low tier.
not much else you can say about that.
Yeah, it's not the ugliest, but it is.
It's pretty poor.
It's quite poor. I'm
To
gonna put
be
it.
polite.
Yeah, to be polite. I'm gonna put it ahead of Dice. So it's second bottom of tier 4. It just looks like it's made from word art, and word art is impressive when you're in primary 2. That's it. I mean, after that, you really should be going on to Microsoft Paint, and then eventually Microsoft Paint is not going to cut it. So it's a few steps below what is acceptable for a logo, really.
I would say so.
I don't dislike the team. I bet the team is really cool, but if you're going to make a logo out of word
They need
art,
to change the logo.
yeah, they're gonna need to do more effort for that. We have Kinross Otters, which it's another team with otters. There's a lot of otters out there. Dolphins and otters are the most common animals for swimming teams, it seems. And this one
I'm more impressed with the other teams.
Yeah.
The other otter teams, though, to be fair.
Yeah, Colts Otters is the highest one, although apparently it's not the correct one. It's the highest one with an otter in it so far, which is now, if I'm correct, second in tier 2. Let me double check that. Yeah, so they have that to compete with, and this one is it's yellow and blue.
It's got an otter on it.
It's got an otter on it. It doesn't look bad. It looks quite nice, but it's quite boring compared to, say, Colts Otters.
Yeah.
So
I'd say go somewhere in 3.
I reckon somewhere in 3, yeah. Better than Brecon Beavers. Better than the fish with a small penis. Better than. I'd say.
You think it's better than penis fish?
I mean, I admit the penis fish isn't that great of a logo in the first place, but it does make you laugh. A bit like Nairn. So it is better than penis fish, come on.
I don't know. I think Penis Fish is a great logo.
Okay, it's great for all the wrong reasons.
You'd be proud of it though.
You'd be proud of it if your theory on it, what happened is exactly what happened.
We need
Alright.
to see if that can be confirmed.
Yeah. I'll have to just ring up Wolsey Leisure Centre and get all the details.
Just do that.
Okay, now we have the next one is Menzies Whitehall Swimming and Water Polo Club. And
well, you're not gonna like that.
I don't like it very much, but
No.
out of all the ones that are a saltire or Scotch flag, or I don't know if saltire is the right word for it, it's actually then a really nice one with a saltire.
It's a different way of doing it.
It's a different way of doing it. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's the best one with a Scottish flag so far. So it's
just
team,
anywhere ahead of the other.
Yeah. I'm having a good look at it. It doesn't look like, I think the highest one with a Scottish flag on it is in Tier 4. Well, Tier 3 actually, because Burnt Island has one.
But that's got other bits and bobs in it as well.
Yeah, I'd put it but just ahead of Burnt Island actually, because I think West Hill District's nicer.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is Midlothian, and this is the one with the free sperm on it.
Oh yeah!
Yay!
Good.
Extra points for free sperms.
Extra points for
My
sperm.
mum took the piss out of them every single time.
Gets points for that as well.
It gets points for that as well. So, but in all due fairness, it is quite nice.
I like the simplicity.
It's simple. It's simple. I think this version I think it's also comes in kind of a purpley white color, purple and white variation. But this one that we see is again a solid black and white, which makes it better. I kind of like it. I kind of like it actually, despite the fact that it's free spurbs.
Yeah.
It's Midlothian, a team, probably one of the lesser known teams actually. They always came to Forest when we were at Forest, and they would be quite high up. They always took a big team to Forest, despite the fact that they probably out of all the teams was the oddest team out, if you know what I mean. Even more odd than us.
And that's saying something.
Yeah. So let me see. I think it would go in Tier 2 actually.
Yeah, I would put it in Tier 2.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna put it ahead of Glenrothes, but behind Kirkcaldy. And then we have Mad Seals. Montrose and District Seals. This is actually the first one that we've seen with seals on it. And I'm glad that it says seals on it, because I can't tell the difference between a seal and an otter. So
I forgot about that.
I think I remember Montrose having a team, but I don't remember it being called Mad Seals. What do you think of this logo? What do you think?
Cartoony way that they've done it.
It is kind of cartoony. Like, not over the top cartoony, but it does kind of.
And I do like the black with that kind of. Would you say it's like a neon blue?
Yeah, like a baby blue.
Yeah.
A baby blue.
I quite like that blue.
Yeah. I think that looks pretty cool, actually. I wouldn't put it, I think, in, hold on. Okay, so I think somewhere in Tier 3, maybe higher in Tier 3. I think it will go ahead of Bridge of Dawn, but behind Carnegie. It looks a bit too, maybe the cartoony-ish kind of lets it down a little bit, but I do kind of like the logo overall.
Mm-hmm.
It's not particularly glorious like, say, Delton Dolphins and Colts Otters and Tane, but it's probably not glorious enough. but it does look
Aye.
fairly nice.
But it's quite well done.
Yeah. So, and then we have Monolith Amateur Swimming Club, which doesn't have much to it at all. It kind of looks like a very small hint of American University to it, but not very much at all, and it kind of looks a bit boring.
Aye.
Yeah, can't say much about that.
No, you can't. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's just an M with some water below it, and that's quite boring. And so I imagine it will probably go in the bottom tier, so I'll have a look. Fairly high up, I reckon. We'll put it ahead of Bucky, but behind Upper D side.
Okay.
And now we have this one, Musselburgh Marlins, and that looks quite cool.
It does look quite cool. Has there been any other ones with swordfish?
No, not as I remember. I think that's quite cool. I think this is also a feeder club for West Lothian. So I might be wrong there. Musselburgh Marlins. So it looks pretty cool. Yeah. Not much to it. Yellow and blue. It might look better in other colours, but I picked yellow and blue, and it looks all right. Again, it looks a bit more like it's teetering on the edge of drawing rather than logo, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which might lose marks there, but I think it's a solid tier 3.
Solid tier 3. Sounds
solid
good.
tier 3. So let's have a look at some of the others. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it ahead of Aberdeen Amateurs, behind East Lothian. So fairly high up tier 3 actually. Then we have the shield, which I'm pretty sure is not the logo of North Berwick. I found this shield on their website, and I'm pretty sure it's not their actual logo because it's on one of the apps that quite a lot of these teams use. So I'm going to ignore that one.
Oh, you want to just see?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that shield because I don't think that's their logo. We got 2 of these because they're so different from each other, but it's the same team. We have the writing of People's Amateur Swimming Club, which looks quite up to date and fairly cool. Then we have the logo with the fairly same colors. So we'll talk about them. Man, I think I put both of them in this list. Let me have a look. I did, yes.
Okay.
I think the writing, again, is fairly boring on the top one. The bottom one, I would put the bottom one higher than the writing. I think
because the bottom one's probably more of a logo as such.
Yeah. I mean, writing can sometimes come across as a logo, but the logo actually has more to it than the writing. I think they just picked writing because it looks newer and looks up to date. But again, there's not much to it. So I would put that, even though it's not that ugly and not that boring, compared to, say, Grove. Grove looked pretty damn boring.
Yeah.
I'd put it... I don't know if I'd put it in tier... I don't know if I'd put it... I'd put it in near the bottom of tier 4, if I'm honest. I put it ahead of Finn's. But the logo itself, though, this logo, which I think is no longer their actual logo, but I think it's worth putting up, looks a bit better than the writing. I wouldn't put it that much higher. I think this... Oh, shit. Do you see it? Do you see it? That's a limp penis. Do you see it? That's a... Oh, it took me a while to see that one. Well, man.
See, when you said it, I couldn't see it at first.
That's a ball sack, and that's a limp dick. That looks a bit like an erection that is really struggling.
It's a floppy.
It's a floppy, man. It's a floppy. It looks like that penis is resting over a bar or something. Man. Well, that you know where that's gonna go. It's gonna go.
It's getting points for that.
It's getting points for that. It's gonna go in tier 3. Oh, hey, we finally found a penis. I think it should go behind Wobbleser though. That's a go.
I am.
We finally found one with a penis in it.
We found another penis.
We found another penis. Okay, now we got Perth City. Perth City is another fine club, and this logo is it's quite glorious actually. Would you believe?
I quite like that logo.
It's quite glorious. I wouldn't say it's a pretty or beautiful logo, but it's glorious, and it looks like a team that would.
It looks like
a proud team
logo.
Yeah, proud team logo. Very high up on
high standards and
all that stuff, you know? So I'd give it quite a lot of marks for that.
Yeah.
It's not particularly pretty, but it's not ugly. It's
better than the next one for Perth anyway.
Yeah, better than the next one for Perth, that's for sure. Let me see. I think I'll put it below tier 2, I reckon. I'm going to put it ahead.
I would say somewhere in tier 2.
Yeah, I'll put it, like, the picture I used for the actual tier list is kind of off. But I'm going to put it ahead of Hearts, but behind West Side Sharks. Actually, maybe, hold on. I'm going to put it ahead of Wython, actually. Yeah, there we go. And then we have another fucking Thistle.
Is that instant tier 5?
I think so. That's nothing but Thistle there. I mean, maybe bottom of tier 4 if it's lucky. It's actually quite similar to Bonnecourt Thistle. But, you know what? I'll put it ahead of Bonnecourt Thistle. Maybe it's low tier 4. I'm not a particular big fan of that. I'm annoyed at that, actually. And then we got Portobello. And I actually remember Portobello's colours quite well. In fact, my good friend Neil McLeod, who now swims for Aberdeen Dolphins with me, I actually do remember. I did have to double check with him though, just before this started. He was a member of Portobello, and I do remember the colours of blue and yellow on him with his funny goggles. He's the one with the funny that used to wear like strange, like looks like snorkeling goggles. And I always thought that was cool. In fact, I was a bit jealous of him because of it. He looked a bit out of place with those goggles, but he always looked quite cool. And we must have known him for about a year or two before we realized, or he told us, that he had to wear those goggles because he was allergic to normal goggles. So there was a genuine reason why he was wearing those goggles. It wasn't just because it looked cool. It's because he couldn't wear any other. Yeah, he couldn't wear any other goggles. He now wears Swedish goggles. So Swedish goggles are basically, if you don't know, they're basically plastic lenses all around, and not the most comfortable things to wear in the world.
Is that the ones that just have like the tiny kind of rubber bit between the actual?
Yeah, so there's little rubber bit.
I know the ones you mean.
Yeah, a little rubber bit between the actual lenses, but the lenses are actually just plastic. He just wears that now, which I actually said that I could barely recognize him with them on. They're not very comfortable at all. In fact, I think I bought 2 because it was a joke. I bought 2 for a joke at Genoa, and I bought 1 because I genuinely needed a pair of Swedish goggles that are good to wear in the sun. So I had 3 pairs of Swedish goggles, but they're not my favorite goggles. Anyway, we kind of digressed there.
Yeah, we got
my good friend who has cool goggles was from Portobello, and I think this logo is pretty cool. I think the blue and yellow kind of makes it again. See, if it was white and blue, it wouldn't be anywhere near as nice.
Aye.
So I think
stands out.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as cool as Geary in that color, but I think it'll be solid tier 3. I do actually remember it from back in the day. How high up? I'm gonna put it behind Burnt Island, if I'm honest.
Okay.
I think if it was any other color, it'd probably be further down. Okay, we're actually on page 18 out of 20, and now we have what is the most bizarre logo on this list, and probably the most bizarre team. This
That
is
isn't their logo, surely.
that is their logo. This is Scorpion. Scorpion is a swimming team based in Lothian, and it's just called Scorpion. It's not even amateur swimming club or swimming club after that. It's Scorpion. And
Oh.
I think it was founded in 2007. I have no idea why it's called Scorpion. I have a feeling that they kind of called it that as a joke, and then they kept it.
They could have like designed it better.
It looks a lot more like a drawing than a logo. Again, as your girlfriend had a rant about earlier, it's not something that swims.
No, it's not. In fact, well, see what she says.
Yeah.
Mel, there's a swim team called Scorpion, and their logo is just a scorpion.
Show it to her.
Very imaginative.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you make of it being like a scorpion, though? Why a scorpion? I think that's another censor.
Maybe we'll censor that.
Did you catch that?
I did catch that, yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you.
I'm free all day tomorrow, so if I have to
you've got plenty of time to go through it.
I got plenty of time to go through it. That's really all I can say. I imagine someone had a pet scorpion. They decided to use it as a.
You'd maybe think it was cool, but
I'm honest.
I don't think so.
No, they don't. No way do they swim.
Like a fucking desert in the summer.
They are in the desert, yes.
Where there's like no water.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like a cactus.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, as
yeah, maybe it doesn't look like a cactus.
I mean, it does
Sorry, she's getting a bit sidetracked.
Do you know what it feels? Do you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of one of those really stupid memes on the internet that has barely any meaning. Like, I don't know. I don't know what would be a Thanos car. You remember Thanos car?
Scorpions are not natural swimmers. However, they can move in water, prevent themselves there.
Oh, hold on.
Scorpions are not natural swimmers, yet if they find themselves in water, their body and internal organs allow them to be submerged for up to 48 hours without any harm.
Oh.
48 hours?
They can last 48 hours in the water without breathing, basically.
Holy crap.
Oh, wow.
Like, good logo. Like, we're badass. We can, like,
That's actually not... Oh, we better give them points for that, actually, feel like.
Yeah, you 48 hours in the water, man. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's a full-on aquanaut there.
That's
almost.
an aquanaut. That's more of an aquanaut than an aquanaut. I do.
Oh well, some points for that then, I guess.
Do you like? It does feel a bit like a meme. You know, one of those memes that means has no meaning and you just don't get.
What do you mean?
Funny one.
Sorry.
You know Thanos. You remember the meme Thanos car? There's a meme called Thanos car, which seems to have absolutely no background, nothing. It was just a stupid thing that no one got. And then if you just knew nothing about it, you would just see this pink car with no real meaning, and you just didn't get it. That's kind of how I feel a bit. Apart from the fact that it does kind of, if it can stay underwater for 48 hours without being harmed, I can kind of now see it.
We're assuming that's correct. We've obviously not fact-checked like anything that's being said on this show.
I would quite like to know a bit more about this team. I did try to do some research. I couldn't find all that much. Also, if you go on Scottish Swimming and it says find a club, for some reason it says that Scorpion's in America. So I think there's another team called Scorpion. I'm not going to put the logo itself that high up. I'm going to put it just ahead of Ollispool because I think the logo is actually nicer to look at than that logo from Ollispool. So I'm gonna put it there.
Okay.
Now we have this one, which is another Scottish flag, which is very boring. So
Yeah, it's too generic.
so
and
generic. I mean,
Pish.
yeah, fuck it. Tier 5. I'm gonna put that
Need to
ahead.
step up their game.
They need to step up their game. It's behind Shetland Hurricanes.
So that's when you know you're
Well, to be
doing
fair,
shit.
Shetland Hurricanes is like second overall in the shit category, so they're not that bad. I mean,
But I mean, you're still in the
they're
category.
you're still in the bottom
That's-
category.
Yeah.
And now we have this logo, which looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint.
But you said that was better than
I did say earlier
Microsoft Word.
no, word art.
Word
Um,
art.
I did say that, so I have to place it.
It has to go above the other one.
Yeah,
To some
above
degree.
the other one. You know what? I'll put it one above the other one.
Where's that actually for?
Swim it. That's a team in Lothian somewhere, I think.
Okay.
Maybe I can't remember. I thought it was weird. I did look it up and noticed that it was an actual genuine swimming team. Swimming club, not just a swimming pool school. None of these, if I'm correct, is a swimming school. If it is, then we'll have to disqualify them. Now we have Swim West Lothian, which is Gordon's team.
In that case, I think it's got to be right up there.
Oh, yeah, but I think the logo itself's fairly...
I quite like that logo.
I like
if I'm
that
honest.
logo. I like that logo. I don't think
It's something different.
it is. It's just waves. That might be a swimmer doing butterfly, but it's very abstract. That is the wall, obviously. That is a wave. I like it. It's definitely nowhere near the worst. It's closer to the best than the worst. But
I
don't
would say a solid tier 2,
solid tier 2. Yeah,
at least.
at least. I think there just needs to be a bit more to it to be in tier 1. It's not breathtaking, but it's solid tier 2 nevertheless. I'm gonna put it ahead of Geary, behind Stonehaven. No, ahead of Stonehaven, but behind Dundee City Aquatics. I do like that. I think their team kit kind of reflects on that. Now we have this big giant T.
It's a T.
It's a T. It's a T, red
It's a
background,
T. It's
Tranent ASC.
it's a T.
It's a T. At least it's a solid T with a red background. So, terms.
Tier 5?
Let me have a look.
I mean, you can't say anything about it, can you?
Yeah, it's even. I mean,
It's a T.
It's a T. It's a T. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put it at the top of tier 5 because I think it does actually look a lot better than. In fact, it actually looks a lot better than a lot in tier 4, if I'm honest. But I can't say anything about it. I don't know where to put it. It's a T.
It's a T.
I'll have to think of it as, do I like this better than these other logos? I gotta be honest, I think I do like this T better than most of the ones in tier 4. So I don't think putting it in tier 5 is quite justifiable. Okay. We gotta look at it as a logo, and it's not an ugly logo. But again, I think
it's a T, but it's got like the top of it missing.
The top of the T?
Just to the side.
Oh yeah, I guess
it's got a chip at the top of it.
It's got a chip at the top of it. So there's a little bit more to say about it. I'm putting it ahead. I'm putting it behind Haddington.
To be fair, that could easily be done in
on Word.
Paint.
Red background, just stick a T.
Red background, T, and then sham for the top of the.
You know
the
what?
top of the T, and you're done.
I'm gonna penalise it a little bit. I'm gonna put it behind the crap Peebles one and ahead of Finn's. Now we have this one, and I think
Jesus Christ.
that is cool. Do you like that?
It's such a good, like, how can I put it, emblem,
Mm-hmm.
but it's Trojan.
Trojan. You would not get more points if it's Trojan.
I mean, I suppose.
All
Do you think
joke.
they get sponsored?
N-
Is it? Maybe we need to find out what kind of
It's
swim
a-
team it is. If it's just like
it's
a
a
Lerner swim
feeder.
team or what.
It's a feeder
Oh.
team into Gordon's team.
It probably won't have
So
any kind of sponsorship
it's
then.
all right. Let's ignore the innuendos, and we'll actually think of that logo, the emblem itself.
The logo in itself is very impressive.
Very impressive. I like this. It's up there with the best ones of this.
In
of
fact,
this
how
list.
far away is that from us? I don't think that's too far away, is it?
Not too far. No, hold on. I'll have a look. Is it with a G? No, it's with a J.
Jay.
Trojan Swimming Club. I can't find a bloody map. Here's the map.
Well, how far away is Whitburn?
It's Bathgate.
Yeah.
That's not that far at all, actually. Are you further south than Falkirk, yeah?
Basically, Falkirk is just to the
21 minutes from here.
21 minutes away,
Not
apparently.
too far, alright.
13 miles.
Not that far from you,
Thank
then.
you.
I really like that logo, though.
I
Just-
would honestly put that as tier 1 worthy.
Yeah, it's I
I
thought
would be proud to have that as my logo.
that is a glorious logo. You know what?
The first thing I think of is this is another Tom Rakes thing.
Condor?
You'll remember.
300.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Tom Rakes. So what you didn't know is that I think this is actually originated from his university team, and we kind of adopted it. So it wasn't originally a Delton thing, but we would go, Delting, what is your profession? Ow, ow, ow. And then whoever is chosen, which is usually me, would get on a block, jump up and do a belly flop before every warm-up. So that's where that's
It
from.
was a good way to psych up, though.
It was good, yeah. That did genuinely bring some team spirit. So I'm looking at this logo, and yeah, I think that's tier one worthy.
I think it's tier 1.
I'm just wondering, are we putting this in tier 1 because no one else is in tier 1 from this list so far?
I mean, we can't help that they have shiny logos.
Admittedly, yeah. It's been quite poor.
And this one is very, very good.
Very, very good. I was thinking it's either this, when I was looking at the list, it was either this one or Fault House Penguins that was going to have the best logo. And I think based on what you said, that one is going to go into tier 1, but it's going to be behind Tame.
Yeah,
I don't think it's as good as the other ones in tier 1. So Trojan,
but it's definitely tier 1
yeah,
worthy.
we finally got one that goes into tier 1. And then we
Great.
have 2 for Edinburgh Warrender. That's quite controversial, I know, but we already had one we had Peebles that had 2 logos, and I thought it was worth putting up. The reason for that is I think the one above the other one is the brand new one. I think that's the official one. And I think compared to the old one, it's quite lame. I thought
You prefer
I prefer the older one. I thought the old one was cool.
Okay.
And I always looked at, you remember, like, I already put one that was fairly red quite high up, tier 2, like Fault House Penguins. I thought that was knocking on the door of tier 1. But I did say that teams in red tend to make me a bit underwhelmed. I didn't like the team colours of red, but Warrender made it really work, especially back in the day. I haven't actually seen much of them over the past few years, actually. I think they made one amazing swimmer that no longer swims for them, they swims for Loughborough. And I look at this logo and I think it almost feels like a team that's kind of died down a little
So,
bit. So yeah. Anyway, what do you think of these logos?
I do like the older one. At the
Definitely.
same time, I like that light shade of blue with the red. I think if they could find a way to put the two together, it would look very good.
All right, yeah. It looks a bit too different. I don't think that doesn't look like the same team to me. If you know what I mean. Where would you
I
put?
put the bottom one. I put the older one higher.
Definitely. So I think that's solid tier 2 at least. I was thinking that would definitely be higher tier 2. I reckon. Let's see. I think it's nicer than Edinburgh. Inverness even better than that. Better than Carnoustie. Better than Forfar. Would you say it's better than Lerwick's? That bottom one?
I don't know because I do like Lerwick's one.
I'm gonna put it behind Lerwick then. The other one, which I don't think is anywhere near as nice as their old one.
I put it tier 3.
Tier 3. Let me see. I'll put it ahead of Peebles. I'm gonna put it behind Gala Shields.
Okay.
And then we have one more, and I think this is a contender as well, but definitely the champion for the best name in all of Scottish swimming, the Amphibious Ancients Bathing Association. Damn right. I reckon that's the awesomest name in all of Scottish swimming. And
is that an actual name of a club?
Yep, that's the name of a club. I had to look it up. I haven't heard of that. I can't believe I haven't heard of that club.
As if you're ripping the piss.
No. Look it up. It's on Scottish Swimming. Ye Amphibious Ancients. It's based in Dundee somewhere.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
And not only that, but I do actually really like that logo.
Do you?
I think.
What's been?
What's that?
Okay.
What's that?
I mean, I would give it points for the name.
Definitely, man. That's the coolest name.
Right. I don't even know what to say about that, Felix. I'm lost for words.
You're lost for words. It looks quite. I don't know much about the history of this team. But I love how. Again, I'm a big fan of when teams have a very solid black and white logo, and I don't think there's a team with a more solid black and white logo than this. Maybe it's not the prettiest as far as the picture is concerned. I think the colour actually makes that.
The colour and the name.
Yeah, hold on a sec. Yeah, the colour and the name definitely, but I do really like that logo. I think that's a landmark of Dundee somewhere in the background.
I honestly have no idea.
You clearly are a bit lost for words there. I think this is
Ye Amphibious Ancients Bathing Association.
Yeah.
It doesn't say swim team.
Bathing, bathing is a swimming, an old word.
I know, but there's been no other ones.
Exactly.
So far
Warrender Baths. Warrender Baths.
Yeah, but it's not Ancients Bathing Association, isn't it? Is it?
I mean, it looks like a team that named their team, and they didn't want to change that name of that team for anything.
The Amphibious Ancients Bathing Association.
Essentially, back when homosexuality was a crime back in the Roman centuries, and they all used to go to the Roman baths and all
Yes.
Sounds like a club from that day and age.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was just getting
Alright, so
another opinion.
Another opinion.
Sorry.
I do genuinely.
It wasn't that bad, but I thought I didn't know how it was going to go, so I covered up.
Oh man. So
But
what?
like she was basically saying, it sounds like kind of a name that's like about as old as bloody ancient Rome, how they would go to like
It does feel
Roman baths,
yeah.
that
Well,
kind of idea.
well, back in the day, swimming pools were more commonly known as baths. Back
As
in when,
baths, yeah.
yeah, like Bonnecourt baths. That's an old pool from way back in the day. Even like Warrender
I
baths.
mean, do you not still have some people that actually still call it that? I believe you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
It's not that old, is it?
No, I mean, I think some pools are definitely not baths. I mean, the NMLC is definitely not a bath. The Click 'em in
No.
is not a bath, but I think I don't know what I don't really know what the difference is, but you can kind of tell the difference when you're looking at it. Anyway, the logo itself, I reckon it's a solid tier 2 at least.
I would go with a solid tier 2.
I think. Do you think it's better than Warrender Baths?
Ooh, I don't know. I do like Warner Bath's logo,
Hmm. Do you
but
like?
at the same time, that's one hell of a name.
You know what? Do you like it better than Lerwick Amateur Swimming Club?
Ooh, I don't know. I do like their logo a lot.
I'm gonna put it behind them. Oh man, that is a damn fine logo though. I mean,
It is a damn fine logo.
not quite as damn fine as Delton Dolphins, but a
It
damn
like see if we were ranking it by name, that would be a
that's
tier 1 name.
best name in Scottish swimming. No way is there.
Yes.
That's never gonna be topped
But unfortunately, we're doing it by logo, so
by
I
logo.
think because of that,
I mean, some of the genuine best teams in Scotland are not going to rank very highly in this list. So maybe I do think that logo is a very cool logo.
it's a very cool logo.
I think
But I think the name is a big factor of that.
I think it is, but I mean, I'm actually comparing that to Warrender Baths, and I do kind of actually like that logo better than Warrender Baths. So
You want to put it ahead of
I'm going to put it
Bath.
there. Yeah. Okay. And that's the last logo of this list.
Hey.
So this is it as a whole at the moment. Not just the ones that we just did, but the ones where we did with the North District as well.
Yes.
I'd say the good news for this group is that I think there was less in the bottom tier, but there was quite a lot less in the higher tiers. I think it was quite mediocre overall.
It was quite mid-range.
Very mid-range. So I think
There was no outstanding performers apart from a couple.
Trojan and Fouled House Penguins and the Amphibious Ancients Bathing Association. Anyway, we're gonna go from bottom to top like we did last time. So, and I'm gonna mention that some of these are not the official logos, especially some in the North District. So, for example, Elgin, which is right at the bottom at the moment, I know that they have a nicer logo than that. So that's at bottom. Then we have Devon, which is unbelievably boring, if I can remember. Then Carsden, which is also quite ugly. Peterhead, which definitely has a different logo that I can't find the photo of. Then we have Cooper and District. Grove, which is one of the most boring logos I've ever seen. Then University of Aberdeen, which gets marks off for calling itself a university team, not having a particularly nice logo, and the team kit being particularly ugly. Bucksburn, that looks like a bum pooping, which isn't quite as funny as a fish with a small penis, if I'm honest.
No.
Bucky, boring. Monolith, which is boring.
Boring.
Upper D side is boring. Granton's boring. Fast is. I think it should get marks off.
Invalid.
It's completely invalid. I mean, they call themselves fast. They don't even capitalize on it.
Competitive.
They call themselves uncompetitive, and and they don't even play on it. Then we got Step Rock, Shetland Hurricanes, and then Arbroath St Thomas. That's bottom tier so far. Would you change any of that?
No.
No. And now we have the second bottom, the not that good section. We have Dice Amateur Swimming Club, then Livingston and District Dolphins, then Swim It, William Finn's Competitive Swimming Club, then Giant T, Peebles, but the worst version, Bonaccord Thistle, Perth Masters, Haley's Swimming Club, Eyemouth District, Bankery Beavers, Bathgate, Freestyle, Dunfermline, Blair Gowie, Dunnin, Haddington Amateur Swimming Club, Thurso Amateur Swimming Club, Earl's Pool, which I found out has a more up-to-date and better logo itself, Scorpion, Wick, Orkney, Brock, Incas, Kelso, University of Edinburgh, and then South Mainland. Would you change any of that?
I don't think so.
You don't think so. Okay. Alright, so the next tier, we put Brecon Beavers, which we gave points because it reminds us of Tom Rakes.
Yes.
We got Nairn because it makes people laugh. We got Peebles because it has a penis in it. We got Wolsey because it has a penis in it. Edinburgh Brath's more updated version, which I'm not a big fan of. It goes at the bottom of okay. Then we got Gala Shields. Then we got Aquanauts, Kinross Otters, Portobello, Burnt Island, which is a shithole apparently. Men. Oh fuck! I forgot the name of that one. Hold on. I know that one's based in Dundee somewhere. Menzie Hill Whitehall Swimming and Water Polo Club. West Hill District, East Sutherland, Duns, Bridge of Dawn, Mad Seals, or Montrose and District Seals if you want to be posh. Carnegie, Silver City Blues, Aberdeen Dolphins, but I was told that they changed theirs to the one that's actually on my hat. Imagine.
How did you not realise when it's on your hat?
I'm a member of this team and I don't know what the fucking logo is, so I have to update that one as well. Then Broxburn with the Badger, the genuine Aberdeen Amateurs one, not the Learn to Swim one, the swimming club. Musselburgh, East Lothian, Highland Swim Teams, Afford Otters, and Armadale Barracudas. Would you change any of that?
I'd put the penis ones higher up, but apart from that,
yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Then we have the good ones. We got Heart of Midlothian, West Side Sharks, which also has a penis in it, but it's genuinely good. Wython, Perth City, Inverleith, I think that's Inverleith, yeah. Best, Glenrothes, Midlothian, which has sperm on it. Kirkcaldy Amateur Swimming Club, Geary, Stonehaven, Swim West Lothian, Dundee City Aquatics, Inverness, Lochaber and Banff, which are basically the exact same. Carnoustie Claymores, Forfar, which looks fairly similar to Tane, just not quite as cool. Western Isles, Warrender Baths, the Amphibious Ancients Bathing Association, Lerwick Amateur Swimming Club, Forest Bluefins, Cults Otters, and then Fouled House Penguins. Would you change any of that?
Would you want to put the net? Oh, wait, no, it doesn't matter. Would you put the Nessie one ahead of the Fly ones at the top right? Maybe behind Claymore?
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that. Because I kind of want to give them both, penalise them a bit. They're both exactly the same, so I kind of want to penalise them a little bit.
I wouldn't blame you for that.
Man, I love the Penguins one so much. Should I put it in the top tier, or should I just keep it there?
I don't know. I feel as if whatever I say, you're probably going to put it into tier 1 anyway.
You know what? We're going to get the judge here. So, I'll be right back.
Are you putting it into tier 1?
I'm going to get the judge.
Where's mine? Hmm?
Thought you were putting it to that, didn't I?
Okay. Something outside, is there?
So, what we want you to say is, would Fouled House Penguins be in tier 1 or tier 2?
Where is it?
It's right there at the top of tier 2 at the moment. Hold on, I'll bring it up again. Would you put that in tier 1 or not?
What's the last one in tier 1?
Trojan. Current last one in tier 1 is that one.
I'd put it in tier 1.
You'd put it in tier 1. Alright. So, we're going to update it. We're going to put Fouled House Penguins into tier 1 behind
Tier 1.
Trojan. It's good. So we have 5 in tier 1 now, which I think is a bit more
fair.
A bit more fair. I mean, I do genuinely love that logo. But it's going to go behind Trojan. Tier 1 is Fouled House Penguins, Trojan, Tane, Delton Dolphins, and Dingwall. So, there we go. Sorry for the barking, because the dogs obviously didn't want my mum to get up. Cool. Awesome. So we have one more episode after this. If some of you can give me information that can help me, or even find the logos that I kind of need to make this as up to date as possible, that would be great. Callum, do you have any other anything else to say as a summary to conclude this podcast?
If we find any more logos with penises on them, we'd
That'd be great.
like a good laugh.
Well, I know that there is definitely one with another penis in it, although it's not quite as funny as the others.
Oh.
And that's definitely
well,
gonna be
something.
that's gonna be featured in the miscellaneous section.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not a team; it's a association. So
Okay. Yes.
Anyway, I think we should wrap up. Thank you very much for making it this far, especially if you've seen the first one all the way through and the second one all the way through. That would be fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. I had quite a lot of fun doing this episode and the previous episode. I'm absolutely loving the support in general. I didn't realize how overwhelming the success is going to be. I mean, it's not like we're world famous, but it was meant to be fun for everyone involved, and it certainly was. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for next time.